StudyIQ IAS, अब तैयारी हुई अफोर्डेबल.
So guys, any doubts? Ishika, Nishant, Niranjan, Atish, Poonam, good evening. Yaar, please help Nishant Das. Nishant Jhakar, sorry. Hi Shaktiraj, Utkarsh, K Nidhi, good evening. Shikha Pandey, hi, how are you? Hi Anvesha, Akshaya. Good evening, I'm doing good here. Okay. Yeah, we will talk about that today only, na? Till yesterday we have only covered till Karakorams, and beyond that we are going to cover today. Yeah. तो आपको अभी चल जाएगा पता उसके बारे में. Any other thing, guys? Of course, जहाँ पर लाइफ जो होती है बायोडाइवर्सिटी काफी कम हो. जीरो तो होता नहीं है कभी भी. नहीं. They are not dead zones. It's not necessary that aphotic zone will be a dead zone. Because aphotic zones में you can have some bacteria, cyanobacteria that live basically on chemosynthesis. And if there are some hydrothermal vents, getting my point? So that is quite critical. Okay. So guys, yesterday we have covered till Karakorams and we have discussed all of the nuances and intricacies of Karakorams, and I hope that that is clear. उसमें कोई doubt नहीं होगा. So Karakorams are part of Trans-Himalayas. Now guys, below Karakoram range, you have the Ladakh range. Now Ladakh range is that range where the city of Leh is located. And as I have already told you that Ladakh range is sandwiched between Zanskar and Karakoram range. ये भी हम already बात कर चुके हैं. Now let us, just summarize all these four ranges together. Now guys, in 2019-2020 prelims, one question was there about Nubra River, Nubra Valley. Do you remember? So yesterday we talked about this river, that is the Shyok River. Ayana? Now, Shyok River's main tributary, one of the main tributary of Shyok River, just give me a second, yeah, is Nubra River, as you can see. So exactly location of Nubra River was asked. Fine. So as the question is already asked, so chances कम है कि दोबारा से question repeat हो, but still because पूछा हुआ है, so we are just looking at it. Plus in the drainage section we are going to look at it properly. Now these two rivers, they originate very near to Siachen Glacier. Getting it? So this region is Siachen Glacier. कल बात करी थी हमने. You remember? Yes, great. Now guys, let us summarize each one of them. So all four ranges are in India, or part of it is in India. Now, Karakoram range we have talked about, my dear friends. कौन सी countries में था ये? Starting from Pamir Knot, Tajikistan, Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, and China. Now, Ladakh range is, of course, only in India according to our maps. But if you look at the real maps, then it is also in China. But according to the Johnson line, that is the border on paper, this range is only in India. Fine. So I'm only writing India, but it is, of course, in China as well. Similar case is with Zanskar range. Kailash range is, of course, in India and China. And it is not China, by the way, it's Tibet. Yes or no? Yes. Okay. So we talked about Karakoram range. What was the highest peak? K2 is the highest peak, also known as Godwin. Yes, great. Ladakh range की highest peak क्या है? Sure. Okay, and Zanskar range की? It's no peak. Fine. And Kailash range ki, of course, Mount Kailash. But these peaks are not important. Why? India mein hai, but whenever you talk about the highest point, you have to talk according to a state or an administrative territory. So if you take Ladakh, the highest peak becomes K2, although it's not in India. Fine. Okay. Other than that, all of these ranges were created by the same process, and that process was, tell me, the collision of Indian plate and the Eurasian plate. Please understand this thing. It is very critical, very important. Now, if you look at Ladakh range and Zanskar range, these two ranges are also what, guys? Cold desert. Yes or no? Now, if you look at the administrative extent within India of these ranges, Karakoram ranges are only in Ladakh. Ladakh ranges, of course, are only in Ladakh. Zanskar range kidhar hai yaar? What do you think? It is Ladakh plus Himachal. And Kailash range is only in Ladakh and Tibet, of course. So Ladakh is a UT. Please understand. Abhi wahan par a protest is going on to get a full statehood. So maybe it might become a state. जब तक आपका prelims हो, ऐसा हो सकता है. Fine. That is a possibility, by the way. Acha. Other than that, my dear friends, a very critical thing that we need to understand about Kailash range is it is very important for water resources. Now, if you look at the water resources of this region, the region where you have the Kailash Mansarovar Lake, you have the Rakshasthal Lake or Rakshasthal Lake, and the Kailash Peak. From that region, many rivers originate, and that is very critical for India. Now, first river that originates is Indus. Second river that originates is Satluj. Third river is what? Arey, Geological. आधा लिखा ना. Ghaggar is in Haryana. Ghagra, and then you have the Brahmaputra. So from a single region, many rivers, big rivers, huge rivers of South Asia are originating. What type of drainage system is this? Antecedent. Very good. We are talking about drainage system. Somebody answered about drainage pattern. If I talk about what is the drainage pattern, then what will be the answer? It is radial because from my elevated region, many rivers are originating. Please understand this thing, it is quite important. Now guys, if you want to see all of these things on the Google Earth, that is beautifully visible. Now, guys, are you able to see this hugely glaciated range? Yes. Of course, what is this? कौन सी range है ये? Of course. If I zoom in and you can see another range, that is this. देखें, this is the Ladakh range, and below that, of course, this range that you see very dry is the Zanskar range. Plus this white range again is the Great Himalayas. Now guys, this is the region of Kailash Mansarovar. Now this is your Mansarovar lake and this is your Rakshasthal lake. Mansarovar lake is fresh water lake, but Rakshasthal lake is brackish. Getting my point? Now, if I pan this a bit, so you can see Kailash mountain here. दिख रहा है? देखिए. This is the Kailash mountain. Now, from this region, as you can see, Indus and its tributaries, they are originating. Down south, Satluj is going from here, and Ghagra is going from here, and Brahmaputra is going on this side. So this is in the Tibetan Plateau, and which mountain pass is used by Indians to visit this place? Tell me. कौन सा mountain pass है? यार न्यूज में रहता है that mountain pass. हाँ, it is Lipu Lake Pass. That is used by Indian pilgrimage going towards the Yatra of Kailash Mansarovar. Every year China will, publish some quota and only some number of people can go and visit this region. Fine, it is quite important. Now guys, you can see that beyond the Great Himalayas, the region is distinctly brown. Yes or no? What's the reason? Yes, because of the rain shadow region of Himalayas. So this is quite critical as well. Now, let's look at some important critical lakes. Now, according to you, Pangong Tso Lake is part of which range? What do you think? It is part of Karakorams. Now, second lake is this. This is which lake? Somurari. Also, which Somurari is a Ramsar site. ये कौन सी लेके बताएं? कौन से उसमें पड़ती है रेंज में बताएं? They are in the Zanskar range. And then there is Sokar Lake. This is again in Zanskar. Please understand this thing. Now, Pangong Tso Lake is still not a Ramsar site. Please understand. But Sokar and Somurari both are recognized Ramsar sites. Getting a point? Okay, very good. Now, so I hope that this is visualized how these ranges are arranged. Now, guys, are you able to see Kailash range here? Now, see the extension of Ladakh and Zanskar range into the Tibetan Plateau. Are you able to see? देखें. This, my dear friends, is the Kailash range. ये देखिए. यहीं पर तो Mount Kailash है, यहाँ पे ये रहा. These two lakes, So basically, Kailash range is nothing but extension of Zanskar and Ladakh ranges onto the Tibetan plateau. So this is also very critical for you to understand. ये हम लोगों ने ही नाम बना दिए that they are different but they are connected and are the same range. Please understand this thing. अच्छा. So this is what it is about Trans-Himalayas. Other than that, nothing is important. Now, let's move beyond Trans-Himalayas. अच्छा, एक और important thing is about Kargil. Now guys, everybody remembers about Kargil. 1999, India versus Pakistan. Now Kargil town is in which mountain range? Ladakh? Yes, it is in Zanskar range. तो ये भी दिख ही रहा है आपको यहाँ पे. So let me just give you more clarity, as I have given you Karakoram, Ladakh, and this is the Zanskar range. Fine. So Zanskar range also touches Himachal Pradesh. So if you go extremely in the north of Himachal, fine, extremely north, where? Laol and Spiti and the northwestern part of Kinnaur district, you are going to find Zanskar range. Now basically beyond Manali, when you cross the Atal tunnel, the landscape changes. वहीं से आपको लद्दाख वाली फील आनी शुरू हो जाती है. Drier mountains. Thick. Okay. Now, next, let's move on to the Great Himalayas. Now, guys, if you look at Great Himalayas, they are 2,400 kilometers long. And of course, they are in arc shaped because they represent the boundary between the Eurasian and the Indian plate. Now, Great Himalayas, they start all the way in Pakistan, enters into, of course, India, and in India, Great Himalayas are there in Jammu Kashmir, parts of Ladakh, Himachal, Uttarakhand, Sikkim, and Arunachal Pradesh. Then we have Nepal, of course, China, Bhutan. So these are the countries which contains Great Himalayas. Now they are the highest, or I would rather say, tallest range of the world. So 9 out of 10 highest peaks of the world. How many? 9 out of 10 are located within this range. Highest peak is Mount Everest. Second highest is K2, जिसके बारे में आपको कल बता दिया था already. Third highest is Kanchenjunga, Lhotse, Makalu, Choyu. You don't have to remember, but please understand that 9 out of 10 highest peak of the world are located in this range. Okay. Guys, Great Himalayas, if you look at, can be classified into the western versus eastern fringes. Now, what is the difference? क्या लगता है आपको? Western part is taller or eastern part is taller? यार Mount Everest, Kanchenjunga किधर है? So eastern part is taller, not the western part. Now the western hinge of Great Himalayas is the Nanga Parbat. That, according to your NCERT, is located within India, but originally it is in Pakistan. कब तक झूठ बोलेंगे अपने आप को? अगर करना है असलियत में इंडिया में तो फिर जाओ ले आओ. And on this edge, you have Namcha Barwa. Somewhere here, you have Mount Everest. Guys, Nanga Parbat is 8,200 something meters. Mount Everest is 8848 meters. But there is a catch. Will Mount Everest be the tallest peak after 1 lakh, 2 lakh years? Now see, the rate at which Mount Everest is growing. Why it is growing? First of all, because Eurasian plate is going up, Indian plate is subducting, and Mount Everest is growing because of the tectonic folding. So Mount Everest growth rate is about 3 to 5 millimeters per year. And that is the reason why in 2020, the surveys of China and Nepal conducted a survey here, and the height of Himalayas, Mount Everest, was revised to 884.8 meters. 0.8 meters were added. Fine. But Nanga Parbat is growing at rate of about 8 millimeters per year. It is growing at a higher pace. Plus, near Mount Everest, erosive powers are more because of more rainfall. It is an eastern part. So, after about 1.5 lakh years, Nanga Parbat is going to overtake Mount Everest as the tallest peak of the world. That is quite important. And this editorial, this article came in Indian Express explained section. पढ़ लिया हो गलती से कभी तो, जो मुझे लगता नहीं पढ़ा होगा, आया ना? So Nanga Parbat is going to be the tallest peak. Now guys, beyond Nanga Parbat and beyond Namcha Barwa, Himalayas take a sharpward U-turn. Like this. In the Pakistani side, you have the Kritihar and Suleiman ranges. And on the Indian side, this China side, we have the Purvanchal ranges. Now, these turns are known as syntaxial bends. So, this is known as Nanga Parbat syntaxial band. And this is known as, of course, Namcha Barwa syntaxial bend. Now, why Himalayas bend? Question should be this. So tell me one thing. Why all the fold mountains are arc? Just a second. Let us look at the examples now. देख लेते हैं एक बार एग्जाम्पल्स को. प्रॉब्लम क्या है इसमें? आज के टाइम पे टेक्नोलॉजी इज अवेलेबल. Now guys, Himalayas, they look arc shape. देखें. अच्छा ये छोड़ दें. Caucasus, again fold mountains. They are arc, shorter, but a bit arced. Okay, leave it. These are Carpathians. Are they arced? These are Alps. Are they arced? Okay, leave it. These are Rockies. Arc है? Andes, double arc. है नहीं? Why? क्या है ये? सोचा है कभी? Yes. Mountains, see, when I say mountains are growing, that is of course oversimplification of things. In actuality, what happens? First of all, thrusting is happening. There is more pressure and more folding is happening. Plus, the land, the Indian plate is diving deeper and lifting the Eurasian plate up. So both things are happening. So the rate that I have given you is the overall rate at which that platform, you can say, is growing. किस क्वेश्चन पे थे हम? आर क्यों है यार? Now tell me one thing. When you punch somebody, which knuckle you want to have contact? Middle one. Why? It has more force. बाटा गूंदते हो, वैसे आधे लड़कों ने तो गूंदा नहीं होगा. What happens? Our arc is created. Why? Because at the center always force is more, and at the corners, what happens? The force is less. Because of that, always in the center of the plate, mass is more, and hence our arc is created. Always, always. Please understand. Now, on the second plate, in which that plate is colliding, that is, of course, has more tensile strength. कहाँ पे? In between, center. And in the corners, it's weak. Getting my point? So that is why you are going to get these arcs. And these bends represent the borders of Indian plate. Getting my point? Hence, we have this syntaxial bending. Because beyond that, there is Eurasian plate, no Indian plate. So guys, these syntaxial bendings are quite important. And they are marked by these peaks, Nanga Parbat and Namcha Barwa. And with these syntaxial bending, you are also going to find the bending of rivers. Now, near Nanga Parbat, there is a river that bends. Who will tell? Indus River. And Namcha Barwa? Brahmaputra. They bends. This enters into Punjab plains and this enters into Assam plains. So this is quite critical. Please, please, please understand. Very important. Now, let us look at some great animations and let me show you this range accurate representation. So this is Nanga Parbat, as you can see. This is Namcha Barwa. And this is this arc range. Fine. So it extends all the way from Kashmir, Ladakh, and my dear friends, you know, Himachal, Uttarakhand, Nepal, Sikkim, Bhutan, and Arunachal Pradesh. Please understand, it is quite important. Fine. This is the arc about which we are talking. Now, they play a very critical role. Now guys, if there are no Himalayas, let's say, India का climate कैसा होता? It should be colder. Why? Yeah, see, the climate of India, specifically North India, would have been more extreme. Because places like Delhi, that is at 29 degrees north, जहां भी देख लो world में it's a desert, except on the eastern coast. On the eastern coast, you have cities like Wuhan. The minimum temperature Wuhan faces is minus 17 degrees Celsius. Delhi में कभी गया इतना? Maximum जो गया that is minus 2.2 degrees Celsius of Palam Observatory. Safdarjung is minus, it's I think zero, minus 0 point something. So if there are no Himalayas, there will be no barrier to stop the cold air masses coming from Siberia. If there are no Himalayas, there will be no barrier to the monsoon. ऐसा भी हो सकता है, without the Himalayas, there will be no intense low pressure. And monsoon, may we have discussed why this low pressure is essential for bringing in monsoons. Yes or no, guys? So this is very critical. Please understand. Okay. आज क्या करके गए रवि? It's not working. Yeah, it's working. Fine. So guys, let's look at the tallest peak of the world. And यहाँ से काफी बार questions आए हैं. Now we are talking about the tallest peak from mean sea level. देखिए, these are the 10 tallest peak of the world. Mount Everest, also known as Sagarmatha or Chomolungma, is located on the borders of Nepal and China. Then K2, and then you look at all of these peaks, they are in Himalayas. कहाँ पे हैं सारी? All of them are Himalayas, in Himalayas, except the K2. Now this is the highest peak of the world from mean sea level. Center of the earth से highest peak कौन सी है? Center of the earth. So when we talk about the highest peak in geography or any science, we can measure it from three places. First, sea level. Yes or no? If you look at sea level, highest peak is Mount Everest. Secondly, you can measure from base of the mountain. From base, how much it rises. कौन सी पीक है? हवाई में है शायद कुछ. It is Mauna Kea or Mount Kea, located in Hawaii. Third is, you can measure the highest point from center of the earth. Which mountain is highest or farthest from the center of the earth? Now see, guys, we have already talked about that our earth is not a perfect sphere. It is oblate spheroid. The equatorial diameter is 12,756 kilometers and polar diameter is 12,714 kilometers. Yes or no? So a peak that is tall and is located near the equator will be farther. Yes or no? 42 kilometer का distance है. So there is a peak in Andes known as Mount Chimborazo. That is the highest peak from the center of the earth or farthest point on surface of the earth from center of the earth. So this is also was in Indian Express explained. पढ़ लिया करो थोड़ा. Getting my point? Okay. Next. What we want to do now? Let's talk about highest peak in the solar system. बताइए कहां पे है? It is Olympus Mons, and it is a volcano, stratovolcano, that is about 21.9 kilometers high. In comparison, you know, our Mount Everest is छोटा सा बच्चा at 8.8 kilometers tall. So you can imagine the humongousness of Olympus Mons. It's huge, massive. Fine. Okay, now outside the Himalayan ranges, which peak is tallest in the world if you don't consider Himalayas? Or let me rephrase the question for you. Which mountain range is highest outside the Himalayas? Same cheese. It is Andes, and the नाम क्या है mountain का? Mount Aconcagua. It is located in Argentina. क्या लगता है आपको हाइट कितनी होगी माउंट Aconcagua की? It is a 6,000er. So if a mountain is more than 8,000, we call it a 8,000er, 7,000er, 6,000er. So it's just a 6,000er. And Uttarakhand में का है वो यहाँ पे? Who is from Uttarakhand? Nobody is from Uttarakhand. भाई जो आपके गांव के पास peak है, that is 7,000 at least. वो very common in Himalayas. Very common. A 7,000er maybe 6,000er, 6,800. आराम से दिखती है peak. No problem in Himalayas. आप में से if anybody has visited Shimla, maybe Manali, वहां से जो दूर बर्फ वाले पहाड़ दिखते हैं, all of them are mostly 6,000. The tallest that you see. If you are from Darjeeling or maybe Kalimpong or maybe Gangtok, from there, third highest peak is always visible. Kanchenjunga. Okay, now, guys, ये हो गया. Now, outside Himalayas, which is the highest peak in India, outside main Himalayas. देखिए, if we consider Purvanchal as separate, then Mount Saramati becomes the highest. That is in Nagaland. If you consider Purvanchal as parts of Himalayas, then Anai Mudi becomes the highest peak. That is located where? Western Ghats, Kerala. Please understand. Doda Beta is in the borders, second highest. Okay. So this is what it is about Himalayas. Now guys, when you have seen Trans-Himalayas, you have seen Great Himalayas, then we are coming on the Lesser Himalayas. Now guys, just like Great Himalayas, which are also called as Himadris, Lesser Himalayas are called as Himachals, or simply put, we call them as Middle Himalayas as well. Now, when we talk about Lesser Himalayas, they are very critical for biodiversity. And see, according to you, what kind of climate Great Himalayas will be experiencing? The peaks are experiencing frost or maybe tundra. Yes or no? Whereas Lesser Himalayas, they are experiencing what? बोल दो, guess तो करो. Temperate type of climate, and hence these mountains were preferred by Britishers for retreat from the scorching heat of North Indian plains. So they set up Shimla, Mussoorie, Landor, Nainital, and Dalhousie, and Darjeeling. Getting a point? So all of the hill stations that you are familiar with are located where? In the Lesser Himalayas. Very important and very, beautiful thing as well. Now these are heavily forested. And of course, which type of trees or vegetation might be found here? Of course, temperate, like pines, cheeds, devdars, firs. Yes or no? But guys, nowadays Lesser Himalayas faces a very huge threat, and that threat is forest fires. And I might predict this thing, that forest fire is a very essential and important topic for the coming years, because 4-5 साल से हर साल हिमाचल में, उत्तराखंड में there are news of forest fire. So it might either come in disaster management, might be a question on MCQ prelims, or maybe in GS1. आ सकता है, मुझे ये लगता है, because it is very much in news. and a very critical issue. When you will be SDM, DM of that district, it will be your responsibility with the forest department to look after the forest fire of that region. Fine. So this is very important. Now, if you are setting up hill stations, you are building railway stations, railway lines during the British times, what was required? Building material क्या था उस time पे? Wood. For wood, what you will do? You are going to cut these heavy forests. So the local species like deodar, first of all, काट दिए. Cheeds, वो काट दिए. Now cheeds, they have an advantage. They grow very fast. They grow very fast. So all the natural vegetation of lesser Himalayas were cut down by the Britishers and were replaced by fast growing cheed pines. Now these cheed pines, they have needle like leaves. When these needle like leaves, they fall onto the ground, they cover the whole forest with these small leaves. And as the heat rises in these mountains, these leaves, they dry. Yes or no? And then what happens? Somebody smokes and forest fire. Plus, this is a time of natural lightning as well. Thunderstorms are also brewing. So, natural reason is also there. Please understand. So, this is a very critical issue related to lesser Himalayas. Very much in news. Very important for mains answer writing as well as prelims. Sometimes they may be advantageous because they can remove debris and can, so there are some seeds that can be opened by the heat of those forest fire. But this is not natural. Yes or no? Like in savanna, it is good. Okay. Now guys, these middle Himalayas, also known as lesser Himalayas, they are known by local names as well. Now, again, they are about 2,400 kilometers long, starting all the way from Pakistan to Arunachal Pradesh. Please understand. Quite critical. Plus, they have these local names. आइए local names को देख लेते हैं. First of all. So guys, this is Namcha Barwa, as you can see. And here you have these local names. Now, मैं सिर्फ इंडिया की बात करूंगा. Of course, पाकिस्तान की तो करूंगा नहीं. So, first of all, the tallest ranges of lesser Himalayas are the Pir Panjals. Now, if you want to go to Kashmir Valley, you have to cross Pir Panjals and then you will enter Kashmir Valley. Beyond Pir Panjal, in Himachal Pradesh, you have Dhauladhars. So, these are Dhauladhars. Now, guys, in the COVID times, industrial and vehicular pollution, it plummeted and was at its minimum. During that time from Jalandhar, these Dhauladhar ranges were visible like in 50-60 years. Now, एक time पर I have told you already that from Delhi also, in the paintings, old paintings, Persian paintings, if you look at Delhi's portrait, Delhi's image, mountains are in the background. So maybe 500-600 years, back, Delhi se bhi dikh sakte. And I have seen myself from flight. Very high. Fine. So Dhauladhar range is in Himachal Pradesh, and my dear friends, which famous hill station is there in Dhauladhar? Shimla? Dharamshala. Dharamshala is a very famous hill station that is located in Dhauladhar range. Then comes Nag Tibba. Now Nag Tibba is that range that is located on the eastern Himachal Pradesh and western Uttarakhand. So Mussoorie and all are located in this part. Please understand. Then my dear friends, between that, the Mussoorie part is also known as simply Mussoorie Hills. What? And Shimla Hills. Shimla to Shimla Hills बोल देते थे अंग्रेज. Now in Nepal, these lesser Himalayas, middle Himalayas, are named as Mahabharat range. Please understand. Now the Nepalis, they also have given name to the Great Himalayas. क्या नाम दिया उन्होंने Great Himalayas को? Kali? That is a peak. हिमाद्री तो हमने दिया ना? Is a peak. Mahalangur. What guys? Mahalangur range. So Mount Everest is located in which range? Mahalangur. Then Mahabharat, Mahalangur. Okay, remember that. I know it's a bit odd. Okay. Beyond that, as you can see, there is no specific name that is given to these mountains, and they continue till Arunachal Pradesh's edge. Getting my point? Yes, sir. So these are your lesser Himalayas and the main issues related to the lesser Himalayas. Below lesser Himalayas, again, you have this is Great Himalayas. As you can see, I have drawn them. Now guys, if you look into Kashmir, you can see this gap, and this gap, my dear friends, is what? Is the Valley of Kashmir, Vale of Kashmir, Jannat on earth. बोलते ना जन्नत. So Kashmir Valley, on one side you have, अच्छा इस साइड बना लेते हैं इसको. You have Great Himalayas, then you have this valley, beautiful valley, and you have the lesser Himalayas, or to be precise, Purvanchal ranges. And here you have the Kashmir Valley with beautiful Jhelum river flowing into this valley. Yes or no? Now guys, Jhelum is the only river that meanders in its mountainous course in Kashmir Valley. Getting my point? It is also a very important thing. So if you want to look at Kashmir Valley from the satellite imagery, that can be done. देखिए, now, guys, are you able to see this valley? देखें. So these are the Purvanchal ranges. This is Srinagar and this is the valley. So these are your Great Himalayas. These are your Purvanchals. As you go down, you can see the Dhauladhar ranges here. दिख रही है आपको? Fine. अच्छा. Another valley other than Kashmir, कौन सी है? Doon? नहीं. Doon Valley is not between Great Himalayas or in the lesser. Huh? Or maybe in the lesser Himalayas, tell me. Very, very important thing. Socho? Yes. Yes, my dear friends, as you can see, again, this is a valley. This is which valley? The Valley of Kathmandu. ऊपर भी Himalayas, नीचे भी Himalayas, Himalayas ही Himalayas. देख लें. Other than that, India में एक और है, also known as Valley Kashmir of Uttarakhand. So Uttarakhand has Ladakh of Uttarakhand and Kashmir of Uttarakhand. सब लोकली क्रिएट कर लिया उन्होंने कि जाने की जरूरत नहीं है स्टेट से बाहर. लद्दाख भी ले आओ और कश्मीर भी ले आओ. बताइए, which place? Oli is of course known as स्कीइंग कैपिटल ऑफ इंडिया, स्कीइंग होती है वहां, शायद कभी विंटर ओलंपिक्स भी हो जाए. दैट इज द बेस्ट प्लेस फॉर विंटर ओलंपिक्स इफ यू वांट, वी वांट टू होस्ट. बताइए. अच्छा, विंटर ओलंपिक्स की कॉस्ट ज्यादा होती है होस्ट करने में या फिर समर की? विंटर. अच्छा अच्छा, दिस वाज रिसेंटली, अभी ओलंपिक्स हुए थे तो दिस वाज इन एन एडिटोरियल. पढ़ लिया होता गलती से तो. हिंदू हिंदू. सो एट दैट टाइम देयर वाज दिस डिबेट दैट क्या कभी इंडिया ओलंपिक्स को होस्ट करेगा. सो गाइस, यू कैन सी द वैली ऑफ पिथौरागढ़. देखें, दिख रही है आपको वैली? छोटी सी वैली है. दिस इज नोन एज कश्मीर ऑफ Uttarakhand. And then of course in the north we have here, guys, please understand this region, Nelang Valley. Nelang, that is Ladakh of Uttarakhand. ठीक है. अब मैं गया नहीं हूं, I cannot tell you कि वो originally वैसे दिखता नहीं दिखता. ठीक है, but it is quite important. अच्छा, ऐसे ही there was this article in Yojana on tourism. What is Switzerland of India? अरे हर चीज कश्मीर थोड़ी हो. जैकुस? नो. कपूरथला पंजाब में कहां से हो सकता है यार? स्विट्जरलैंड है वो. It was in Yojana magazine of tourism. Do you remember केबिल लैमजाओ वाला जो क्वेश्चन आया था? केबिल लैमजाओ नेशनल पार्क, फ्लोटिंग नेशनल पार्क, वो कहां से आया था? योजना में आया था उसी साल. बायोडाइवर्सिटी की जब योजना आई थी. टेल मी गाइस. खाजियार नियर डलहौसी. ठीक, मिनी स्विट्जरलैंड कहते हैं, वही तो सेम ही तो चीज है यार. नहीं, स्विट्जरलैंड ऑफ इंडिया उसको ही कहते हैं. नाउ next, let us look at some beautiful images of Kashmir. And now let's look at the last range of Himalayas, main Himalayas. Why Shivaliks are called as Shivaliks? बताइए. अब शिव जी तो माउंट कैलाश में रहते हैं. तो शिवालिक्स को शिवालिक्स क्यों बोला गया? बताइए गाइस. Now see, all of the Himalayan ranges that we have talked about are mostly made up of metamorphic or maybe some sedimentary rocks, some, but mostly metamorphic and some igneous rocks. Shivaliks are specifically made up of alluvial sediments that are turning into sedimentary rocks. Hence, you are able to find many fossils in Shivaliks. Shivalik is only 2.6 million year old. It is the youngest. And in the Shivaliks, we found a fossil known as Shivapithecus or Ramapithecus. That was a proto-human, not ape, proto-human. Ape is like gorilla, chimpanzee. Fine. We are also ape, of course, but and because of it, you call it as Shivalik, not because of Shivji, because वो तो कैलाश होना चाहिए था. Fine. Okay. Now Shivaliks also have very important local names. Let's look at them. The most important name is Jammu Hills. So as you can see, just below Purvanchal ranges, we have the Jammu Hills. These are Jammu Hills. Then you have the Dhundwa range. Then you have the Chudia range, as you can see. And then you have a gap. So unlike Great Himalayas and Lesser Himalayas, Shivalik has a very important gap near Central Himalayas, specifically in Assam and West Bengal. These are known as द्वार formations. Basically यहाँ पर भी folding हुई नहीं है. Hence you have very deep alluvial deposits. And if you have deep alluvial deposits, क्या किया जा सकता है वहां? Agriculture. So rice, sugarcane and tea is grown in dwars. Now guys, in India, if you look at this region, tea is of two types: Assam and Darjeeling. I know. Darjeeling tea is grown on the slopes of Himalayas. Siliguri ke upar. And Assam tea is grown mostly in dwars. This is the highest tea producing region of India. Highest tea. याद रखिएगा. And it extends in Bengal and Assam. Fine. Abhi I will show you in the Google map as well. Now beyond that, you have other ranges, 4 more ranges of Shivalik hills, and you can remember these names by a simple acronym. अगर बनना है DM तो उठना पड़ेगा 4 AM. 4 words, 4 letters, sorry. DM AM. Fine. D is for Dafla, Miri. A से क्या है? And then you have Mishmi. Getting my point? Now beyond Mishmi hills, Purvanchal starts. Fine. So this is Dafla, this is Miri, this is Abor, and this is Mishmi. And all of them are Shivaliks named after the local tribes that are inhabiting them. Okay? So these are the local names, please understand. Now, देखिए guys, let us look at this very interesting thing. आइए. Now, देखिए, these are the Jammu hills. दिख रहे हैं नीचे? ये पीर पंजाल दिख रहे हैं आपको? Then are you able to see the Jammu hills? तो Jammu city is in plains or hills? देखिए, plains में. Hills उसके beyond है. देख रहे हैं आप guys? Now nowadays these hills are taken advantage by Pakistani, specifically the terrorists. Now guys, Shivalik hills as well as lesser Himalayas, as I have told you, they are heavily forested. Now Kashmir Valley is already sensitized by Indian Army and BSF and local police, and operations are going for 20-25 years. Security is very tight. So Pakistan knows that you cannot do anything in Kashmir Valley now. So the strategy of terrorists now have changed. They are now targeting this region that is heavily forested, because here Pakistan can send 1 or 2 people who can do guerrilla warfare, highly trained person. So 1 or 2 guerrilla fighters are sent in this region and they will kill 8 to 9 jawans and officers of Indian Army. So this is a recent shift, my dear friends, that we have seen in terrorism in this region. That is because of geography. Why? Jungle mein it's very difficult. Guerrilla warfare. Because gorillas live in jungle. Fine. Kamal hai. Now, you come down. You can see this range starting from Pathankot. This is which? कौन सी रेंज है बताया था अभी? धुंधवा. You still come down. यहाँ देखिए. You are going to see Chudia Hills. Fine. And if you look here in this region, देखिए. यहाँ पर you can see these forested patches, but here you can see this gap, specifically in this region. सिलीगुड़ी से देखिए. There is no ranges. गायब है. After that, you come to this point and slowly these ranges will again start. देख रहे हो? ये देखो, यहाँ से शुरू होगा दोबारा. So these are again Shivaliks. देखिए, please understand. Now guys, we have talked about all the Himalayan ranges. Please tell me, Himalayas extend in how many states? ये क्वेश्चन आया हुआ है. क्या लगता है आपको? Okay, let's count. Union Territory of Ladakh, Union Territory of Jammu Kashmir, Himachal, सिक्किम, अरुणाचल प्रदेश. हो गया काम? डन है? श्योर? वी हैव टू ऐड मोर. वेस्ट बंगाल, असम, बिहार, यूपी. ये क्या हो रहा है सर? एंड हरियाणा एंड पंजाब. So guys, some Shivalik hills are there in these states. So the statement in UPSC prelims was Himalayas extend in 8 states only. It is more than 8. Why? देखें. Clearly you can see in Uttar Pradesh, guys, please look at Uttar Pradesh. Are you able to see these ridges in UP? They are known as Shakumbari hills. They are part of Shivaliks. In the same way, in Haryana, are you able to see these hills? These are known as Morni hills. In Punjab, are you able to see these hills? देखें, ये देखिए, ये देखिए. These are all Shivaliks in Punjab. Now, in similar fashion, if you go to Bihar, these hills are there. देखो, ये आ रहे हैं. Again, guys, दार्जिलिंग इज अ हिल स्टेशन. इट इज इन वेस्ट बंगाल. तो वेस्ट बंगाल में तो कोई डाउट ही नहीं है कि हिमालयास हैं. सो एज यू कैन सी, lesser Himalayas are there in, and in a similar fashion, if you look into Assam, you have some hills like, so it is coming till here, Assam. So Assam के अंदर भी you have some Shivalik hills, please understand. So इस चीज में UPSC can confuse you, please do not get confused. Now guys, अब देखो पाकिस्तान है तो बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग देश. It keeps us entertained. Yes or no? So there is a very important plateau about which it is mentioned even in your NCERT, specifically old NCERTs. So can you see the capital of Pakistan? This is Islamabad. Fine. Now guys, this is a plateau region. देखिए आप यहां पर देखिए plateau. This is known as the Potwar Plateau. Let's talk about Potwar Plateau. So it is a intermontane plateau. Oh sorry, Piedmont Plateau, not intermontane. क्या होता है Piedmont Plateau? पढ़ाया था ना ये, मैम ने पढ़ाया होगा. So plateaus are like, if they are between the two peaks, they are intermontane like Tibet. If one side you have mountain and one side you have plains or a sea, it is called as Piedmont Plateau. So Potwar Plateau is a very good example of Piedmont Plateau because on one side you have the Punjab plains, on the other you have the Himalayas. Getting my point? Now Potwar Plateau, यहाँ पर Islamabad is located and Rawalpindi is located. चढ़ाई करनी है ना किसी न किसी दिन तो. अरे वो वाली चढ़ाई नहीं. Fine. So it is quite important. Please understand Potwar Plateau. And if you look at the Himalayan ranges, my dear friends, all of these ranges, they extend. Like if you talk about lesser Himalayas or we talk about Shivaliks, they only extend to Potwar Plateau. देखें, इसके beyond Hindu Kush will start and Suleiman ranges will start. देखें, so quite important as well. Next, let's talk about some more features of Himalayas. Let's talk about dune valleys. And then we are going to talk about Bugyals. Okay, okay. What are dune valleys? So these are longitudinal valleys. Why? देखें guys, Kashmir Valley was sandwiched between the Great Himalayas and the Lesser Himalayas. Yes or no? But these dune valleys are sandwiched between the Lesser Himalayas and Shivaliks. Right. So this is a dune valley. Please understand. Now, dune valleys, because they are located in this unconsolidated region, they are full of alluvial soils and hence again are important for agriculture. Plus, heavily forested as well. Fine, acha. If you look at the largest of the dune valleys in India, कौन सी है? Of course, it is none other than देहरादून. ये देखिए. Are you? Sorry. कभी कभी होता है. तो in the north बसूरी दिख रहा है, जहां सबको आप सबको जाना है. नहीं जाना? कब? कितने साल बाद? फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट या सेकेंड अटेम्प्ट? 26. कब जाना है? मसूरी जाना है सबको? चलो, जाना तो देहरादून से ही होगा. ट्रेन तो देहरादून तक ही जाती है मसूरी की. फाइन. वहां से द कार्स एंड बसेस विल कम टू पिक यू अप एंड विल टेक यू टू द अकेडमी Lal Bahadur Shastri. Okay. Now guys, if you look at Doon Valley, you have Shivaliks here, देखें, and here you have the Lesser Himalayas. And this 60-kilometer wide valley starts in Rishikesh and ends here in Harbertpur. There is this place. लिखे आपको दिखेगा लिखा हुआ Harbertpur. ये रहा, दिख रहा है? So this is a long valley. देख लें आप. Now, other than Dehradun, और valleys हैं? नाम बताओ. Very good. एक एक करके चलते हैं. Let's look at. Now, first valley is this. देखें. This is known as Kalka Doon. देखें. Kalka, Pinjore, Badi. देखें. दिख रही है आपको? So you have Shivaliks here. And you have Lesser Himalayas here. Then you have this Nalagarh Doon. देखें, Nalagarh Valley is a very small valley. Okay. Beyond that, if you go, you have this Una Amb Valley. दिख रही है वाली आपको valley? ये भी Doon Valley है. You go further north, you are going to look at this Udhampur Valley. ये देखिए, Lesser Himalayas and Shivaliks, and this is the Udhampur Valley. Fine. So these are some Doon valleys for you. It is quite important as well. ठीक है, अच्छा. Other than that, my dear friends, let's talk about bugyals. What are bugyals? They are temperate grasslands. And these temperate grasslands in Western Himalayas are located above 3,300 meters and are inhabited by Gujar Bakarwal tribe in Himachal and Jammu Kashmir, plus by Bhotiyas in Uttarakhand. These tribes are living in these grasslands, and all of these tribes are pastoral, बकरी भेड़ बकरियां चराते हैं वो अपनी बुग्याल्स में. So this is quite important. So आपको मैं बुग्याल दिखा देता हूं, दून वैली भी दिखा देता हूं अच्छे से. So guys, these local names are very critical, please understand. So this is which valley? क्या दिख रहा है? दून वैली है ना? नहीं है. Kashmir Valley. This is, see, Great Himalayas and Lesser Himalayas. Then, guys, you can see Kashmir. So Doon valleys are these between Shivaliks and Lesser Himalayas. ये क्या है? What is this? This is Bugyal. And guys, Khajiyar near Dalhousie in Himachal Pradesh is nothing but a Bugyal. So there is a grassland and there is a small lake, and hence it is known as Switzerland. Fine. So this is a Bugyal, and it is over and above 3,300 meters. Please understand. Now, very, very important. So we have, divided Himalayas from north to south, Trans-Himalayas, Great Himalayas, Lesser Himalayas, and Shivaliks. Now let us divide Himalayas from west to east. Fine? Now, let's do this. Now guys, if you look at a broader picture, you can divide Himalayas into Western Himalayas and the Eastern Himalayas. Also Central Himalayas are there, but they are not under India's control, Nepal. So we are not going to, of course, talk about it. Now guys, according to you, which of these Himalayas are colder? Western Himalayas are colder and drier. Why? Your monsoon is coming from where? From east, it moves towards the northwest. Yes or no? And hence, Eastern Himalayas, they are wetter. And because of this thing, is there any change in the vegetation type? Guys, where in the Western Himalayas you are going to find temperate type regions? In Eastern Himalayas, that changes into subtropical type regions. You go to Darjeeling. Darjeeling looks totally different than Shimla. The vegetation is more lush, more green. The species are quite different. Fine. Now, लिख लीजिए कि lesser Himalayas में you have temperate vegetation, and here in lesser Himalayas you have tropical, subtropical vegetation. Which are older and which are newer? क्या लगता है आपको? Western are newer, older. Why? Why Western are older? Now, see, a very important thing happened. So let's say this was Eurasia, fine. Now, India was moving like this. This is India. So first, this part hit Eurasia. And then, my dear friends, this, oh sorry, टेढ़ा हो गया पूरा, इसको दोबारा बनाना पड़ेगा. No issues, we'll make it again. अब एक ही बात नहीं. देखिए, so first, what happened? The Western Himalayas, they collided and created Western Himalayas. Western part collided. Then it turned, and this part collided, creating Eastern Himalayas. Getting my point? And hence, Western Himalayas are older than the Eastern Himalayas. So erosion ज़्यादा कहाँ होगा? Please understand this thing. Now, Western Himalayas, if you look at, in the western side, like if you look at the base of the Himalayas, beyond Himalayas, you have two regions. First, you have the region known as what? शिवालिक्स के नीचे कौन सा रीजन है? प्लेन्स में कौन सा, क्या कहते हैं उसको? तेराई के ऊपर कौन सा है? भाबर रीजन. What guys? And below Bhabar you have Terai region. Same here. You have Shivaliks. Below that you have Bhabar region. And then you have the Terai region. Now guys, if you look at the arc of Himalayas like this, the western side, the Bhabar region is broader, and in the eastern side, Bhabar region is narrower. But on the opposite, Terai region here is narrower, and here it is wider. Why? ऐसा क्यों है? क्या लगता है आपको? See, Bhabar region is a region where rivers will deposit their unconsolidated material, rocks, debris, and guys, pebbles. आप कभी गए होंगे ऋषिकेश? Have you seen around the river there are very soft pebbles lying around? That is the Bhabar region basically. Now guys, in the eastern Himalayas there is more rain, yes or no? More rain will mean what? More rain will mean rivers will have higher kinetic energy. Now kinetic energy is what? Energy because of the movement. हिंदी में बोलते हैं गतिज ऊर्जा. And that is equal to half mv square, mass and velocity. Plus you don't have any Shivaliks here. They are new, hence their slopes are not eroded that well. So they are steeper, hence more velocity, more mass means more kinetic energy, yes or no? Yes, sir. More kinetic energy, you can carry the load further. Yes or no? And hence you have a very narrow Bhabar region. But as you carry the load further, Terai area increases. River floods with the load. Whereas guys, in the western section, rivers are not that huge. Like Brahmaputra, Teesta are very huge rivers. इंडस में तो पानी पाकिस्तानियों ने वैसे नहीं छोड़ा, खत्म ही है. So here the rivers are not that, no, they don't have much volume. Because of that, they don't have much kinetic energy. And if they don't have much kinetic energy, what will happen? They have to deposit the load on the base of the Himalayas. And hence the Bhabar region is broader and Terai region is shorter. Now guys, Bhabar region cannot be used for agriculture. It is heavily forested. Whereas Terai region is very critical for agriculture. It is used for what? क्या उगता है Terai region में? No. Sugar cane belt of India. It is the sugar cane belt of India. Specifically in UP, Bihar, and even in Punjab and Haryana, upper parts. Then you come to Assam and all those areas, you have duars. So वहां पर tea and rice is more important. But still, sugarcane is grown. So this is a very critical thing that you all must understand. Any doubts guys still here? कोई doubt कुछ पूछना हो किसी को? Now guys, this is all about Himalayas. Let's move on to Purvanchals. Now tell me, what is the exact boundary between Purvanchal and Himalayas? किसको पता है? Mishmi hill ends पथकई बुम हिल्स स्टार्ट्स? कहां पे होता है ये? अरे भैया वो सबको पता है। हाँ, ध्यान। चलो ब्रेक की बात बताऊंगा आपको, इतने सोचो, टाइम है आपके पास 15 मिनट्स। 15 मिनट्स यू हैव टाइम टू थिंक अबाउट द बाउंड्री। सोच के बताओ, इंटरनेट पे भी ढूंढ लेना, कहीं मिलेगी नहीं आपको। बात करेंगे, रुक जाओ, सोचो। Yeah. Now, as you can see, so I was flying in December from Delhi to Bagdogra airport. ठीक, Bagdogra in West Bengal. हाँ, म्यूजिक नहीं चलेगा. ठीक है. So as you can see, I was going, and you can see. So this is the photo that I took, guys. देखें. And the pilot also announced that Mount Everest was visible. ये आप देख सकते हैं. This is the Mount Everest. Now guys, this is Mount Everest, as you can see. दिख रहा है आपको? और ये है Mount Makalu. Tell me why Mount Makalu looks taller than Mount Everest. मैं भी परेशान हो गया था. बोला यार ये Mount Everest की शेप सबको पता है. Yes, it is in front, and you can also see this ridge beyond which there is Mount Everest. Fine. So ये आपको दिख रहा है, बहुत ही क्लियर, बहुत ही अच्छा है. तो मैंने दिखा देते हैं आपको. पूरा व्लॉग यार दिखाने लायक है नहीं. ठीक है, तो दैट वाज देयर. आपको एक और चीज दिखाता हूं, आपका भी माइंड थोड़ा सा सही लगेगा आपको. मतलब वो बना के मुझे भी अच्छा लगा था. हिमालयास की बात चल रही है, तो आई लव हिमालयास and I have traveled extensively there. So I made this. All the videos are unlisted, so they cannot be seen. So ये जो आपको माउंटेन दिख रहा है यहाँ पे, जल्दी जल्दी करके मैं आपको दिखाऊंगा. So this is basically Sikkim. Fine. So this is Mount Kanchenjunga, third highest peak of the world. ये वाला आप देखेगा. This is Kanchenjunga, and for this shot I woke up at 4. सही है. छोटा वीडियो चले. ये देखिए ये वाला. This is Tiger Hill. From Tiger Hill you can see Kanchenjunga and Mount Everest together. इसके लिए we have to wake up at 3, -8, -9 was the temperature. ये तो फोटो दिखाई आपको पहले भी. ये फोटो भी देखो. तो that was Mount Kanchenjunga, as you can see. टाइगर हिल से नीचे दिखता है पूरा. फाइन. तो आपको वर्ल्ड का थर्ड टॉलेस्ट माउंटेन, हाईएस्ट माउंटेन दिखा दिया मैंने. K2 के अभी तक दर्शन हुए नहीं है, और वो शायद होंगे भी नहीं जब तक आप लोग कुछ करोगे नहीं. ठीक है, आप लोगों को पॉलिसी बनानी है आगे. आप में से शायद कोई बंदा अजीत डोवल निकले फ्यूचर में. फाइन. So that is there, guys. Acha. Now guys, let's talk about Purvanchal. And I left you with a very critical question. The question was where Mishmi Hills end and Patkai Boom starts. बताइए. कैसे पता? So there is Dibang and Lohit rivers, beyond which Purvanchal starts. Fine. So let us talk about it. I have made a very good animation for you as well to look at, so that this is Dafla, Niri, Abor, Mishmi Hills, and these are Patkai Hills. As you can see, Patkai Hills are located in Arunachal Pradesh as well as Nagaland. हिल्स के ऊपर एक बड़ा जबरदस्त क्वेश्चन आया था, आई थिंक लास्ट ईयर 2023. यूपीएससी आस्क्ड कि जो डिफरेंट हिल रेंजेस हैं, वेयर दे मर्ज. स्टेटमेंट बेस्ड क्वेश्चन था. आई विल शो यू इट टू यू. एक बार हम सब कंप्लीट कर लें, बिकॉज पहले मैंने आपको दिखा दिया, फिर आप बोल दोगे दोबारा जाके कि सर ऐसा कर रहे हैं. ठीक है. सो यू हैव अरुणाचल एंड नागालैंड, देन यू हैव दीज हिल्स, दीज आर दी नागा हिल्स. Of course, below which you have the Lushai Hills, also known as the Mizo Hills. So, Naga Hills are located, of course, in Nagaland and Manipur. And Misho Lushai Hills are located in Manipur and Mizoram, and some part also in Tripura, known as Tripuri Hills. Fine. So I will, tell you exact nuance, exact intricacy, जो भी particular range I will tell you. Take no tension. Now, in Manipur, we call them as Jampui Hills. Fine. Now, these are also hills in the northeastern states. Hence, can be classified in the northeastern hills. But they are not part of Himalayas. They are extension of the peninsular plateau beyond the Rajmahal gap, Malta gap. Fine. So you have the Garo Hills, Khasi Hills, Khasi nahi hai, Khasi Hill. Chek Hill bhi hoga fir. And my dear friends, we have Jaintia Hills plus Karbi Anglong. Again, so these four hills that you see are not part of the Himalayas. They are part of the peninsular plateau. So see, northeastern hills, when you talk about, can be classified as Purvanchals, and they are basically extension of Himalayas. Then guys, you have the Meghalayan plateau. And they are nothing but extension of peninsular plateau. Fine. Purvanchal Hills can be divided further into Patkai, Naga Hills, Lushai Hills, three main ranges. Beyond that, we have Arakan Yoma and Pegu Yoma. That is a different thing, not in India, and hence not in the syllabus. You have Garo and Jaintia plus Karbi Anglong. Now guys, Garo, Khasi, Jaintia Hills, they are located in Meghalaya. Karbi Anglong is located in where? Assam. कोई है असम का यहाँ पे? Anybody from Assam? कौन सा नेशनल पार्क है? Kaziranga National Park is located out at यार फैन बंद कर दो, दिक्कत हो रही है. Now is it okay guys? I hope that it's now audible. Now guys, is there any hills that are connecting Purvanchals with Meghalayan plateau. ये एक रेंज तो दिख रही है. Can anybody name that range? यार हिल्स कहां मीट होते हैं, दैट इज वेरी क्रिटिकल. यूपीएससी एक बार पूछ चुका है क्वेश्चन, वेरी क्रिटिकल थिंग. अच्छा, वेस्टर्न घाट्स ईस्टर्न घाट्स कहां मीट होते हैं? नीलगिरीज, सतपुरास एंड विंध्यास भी मीट होते हैं कहीं ना कहीं. नियर दैट आई विल टेल. अरावलीज एंड विंध्यास भी मीट होते हैं कहीं ना कहीं. टेल मी वेयर these hills meet. Different parts. Khachar hills of Assam. सुना ना? असम में कौन है? आप हो? कहां पे हो असम? गुवाहाटी के? सिलचर? हैं? काजरंगा क्या? लखीमपुर? नौगांव. So you have the North Khachar Hills, as you can see. अभी लिखा हुआ आ जाएगा आपके लिए. So you can see the Himalayas and you have the North Khachar Hills. They are also known as Baral Hills, and Baral Hills are only the northern edge of these hills. Fine. For example, if you look at Karbi Anglong, one of the edge of Karbi Anglong is known as Mikir Hills. Get my point? So Karbi Anglong is a total plateau, rugged terrain. One of its edges is known as Mikir Hills. In the same way, the North Khachar Hills are there, and one of the leading edges of these are known as Baral Hills. They are in Assam, Silchar. कौन सी रिवर है वहां? सिलचर के नीचे. Very good. Also known as क्या बोलते हैं? चलो रिवर्स के बारे में बात करेंगे, बट आई विल टेल यू देयर इज अ मिसकंसेप्शन. ब्रह्मपुत्र को क्या बोलते हैं बांग्लादेश में? यस माय डियर फ्रेंड्स, बराक रिवर इज द मेघना रिवर. उसमें एक छोटी सी डिस्ट्रीब्यूटरी आकर मिलती है ब्रह्मपुत्र की. दैट इज अ डिफरेंट थिंग, वी विल टॉक अबाउट इट, बट दिस इज वेरी क्रिटिकल थिंग दैट यू मस्ट. सो टेल मी, North Khachar Hills are part of Purvanchals or they are part of the Peninsular Plateau? क्या लगता है? They are part of Purvanchals, Himalayas. Fine. And they touch, or I can rather say skirt or kiss Jayantia Hills. Take. So this is the meeting point. और ये पुरानी एनसीईआरटी में दिया हुआ है, नई में नहीं है. प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड. ओके, ठीक है. तो एक बार इफ यू वांट टू रिवाइज, पथकई बूम, नागा हिल्स, मिशो हिल्स, अराकन्योमा, नीचे पेगुयोमा, गारो, खासी जयंतिया, करबी एंगलोंग, एज यू कैन सी, एंड द मिकिर हिल्स, नॉर्थ काचर हिल्स. क्वाइट इंपॉर्टेंट. ठीक. सो एज यू कैन सी, दिस इज द करबी एंगलोंग प्लेट्यू. ठीक. एंड a little part of it is Mikir Hills. Fine. ये देखिए, ये करबी एंगलोंग है, and this is the North Khachar Hills overall, and one of it hill ranges Baral Hills. और एक और एज उसका तीवा हिल्स भी है. Look at it. And these names are given here and there in the NCERT. They are not organized, and hence we always misses them. Fine. So इसीलिए in your notes what you can do is, here you can also write fine. So Garo, Khasi, Jayantia, as you can see. So yeah, all these things we will give. Now guys, this is what it is. Now guys, Purvanchals. If you look at the vegetation, what changes will you see? First of all, in the northeastern India, rainfall is very heavy. Hence, there is a mixture of rainforest in the lower areas, plus in the upper areas you will find subtropical forest. So UPSC has asked a question about Namdapha National Park, Arunachal. And when you will be taught about the national parks and wildlife sanctuaries in environment and ecology, please try to associate every national park with either the physiographic feature, let's say plains, hills, and the river as well. तो आपको हर एक नेशनल पार्क के बारे में पता होना चाहिए. For example, if I will tell you about what is Tal. It is a very important landscape for wildlife. Fine. So Tal region has deciduous, moist deciduous forest. Please understand. And it starts in Haryana, Kalesar Wildlife Sanctuary. You have Rajaji National Park, Jim Corbett National Park, Pilibhit National Park. Then you have Katrni Ghat Wildlife Sanctuary, Dudhwa National Park, Valmiki National Park till Bihar. So it starts from the base of Himalayas in Haryana and goes all the way to Bihar. Now guys, this is the region where you are going to find the largest tigers of the world. Now tigers have many different subspecies, and if you look at different subspecies of tiger, the largest were Caspian tigers, but they are now extinct. We are left with Bengal tigers that are in India and the Siberian tigers. So if you look at the captive tigers, in captivity, Siberian tiger will outgrow a Bengal tiger. But Bengal tigers of Tal, that is Terai Arc landscape, in the wild are the largest tigers. Wild में, अपने natural habitat में, the tigers of this region are the largest, specifically of Dudhwa. Dudhwa का नाम सुना है? Largest, 350 किलो. Yes, 350 kgs and above. Largest tigers can be found here. So you have to remember all the national parks along the Tal, starting with Kalesar, Rajaji क्या है? टाइगर रिजर्व है नहीं है? जिम कॉर्बेट, पीलीभीत. So once I was posted in Uttarakhand, and in the morning once I was coming with a driver down, I was coming from Ranikhet and going towards Nainital, Bhimtal. So as I was going, तो वहां नल लगे होते हैं. मैं जा रहा था, सुबह से बैठा हुआ था. मैंने देखा नल के नीचे टाइगर बैठ के खा रहा है कुछ. मैं ये क्या है? So I saw a tiger in wild, in summers, wild. Fine. So आप में से बहुत लोगों ने बहुत सारे जानवर देखे होंगे in the wild, but with my जो मैंने देखा, जब you will see the tiger in reality ना, it is humongous, huge. The face is like this. Fine. So I was somewhere here in this region. So that was a tiger from maybe Rajaji or maybe most probably Jim Corbett. So you have Pilibhit, then you have Katrni Ghat. Acha, rhinoceros was once an important resident of Tal, but was eradicated. Now, tell me, in which national park we have relocated rhinoceros, Ganda? अरे काजीरंगा में तो ऑलरेडी है, दैट इज नॉट पार्ट ऑफ ताल. पीलीभीत, It's कतरनी घाट and धुंधवा. यहां पर हैं कुछ गैंडे. One horned rhinoceros. Fine. Then you have Valmiki National Park. And यहां भी ये चले जाते हैं कभी कभी घूमते हुए. Fine. Okay. By the way, rhinoceros was very common in Pakistan from, this Islamabad, Rawalpindi till Assam. But they were hunted out. Assam से हमने यहाँ पर repopulate किया था उनको 20-30 years back. Fine. So this is Tal Terai arc landscape. Now, in the same fashion, when I will teach you Aravallis and the peninsular plateau, there is another landscape very important for environment perspective. आपको पता है क्वेश्चन कहीं से भी उठ के आ सकता है environment में. There is another landscape. Gir Pritihar landscape. Now this landscape starts all the way from Sariska. कहाँ है Sariska? पास में ये दिल्ली के. Nearest wildlife sanctuary from Delhi National Park. From Sariska to Ranthambore, Ranthambore to Kuno Palpur, Ranthambore के नीचे आप आएंगे. You have चीता कहाँ और आ रहा है? Gandhi Sagar Wildlife Sanctuary and till Gir Forest. So such kind of landscape is there. Now this is famous for moist deciduous forests. And these are famous for dry deciduous forest. पहले के टाइम पर हमारे टाइम पर रूल ये था कि यूपीएससी is going to ask one question from natural vegetation every year and one question from soil. बट वो छोड़ दिया पूछना आजकल. वापस शुरू हो सकता है. ये रूल था in my time. So you have to remember the type of forest and it's never watertight. Watertight means ऐसा नहीं है कि एक जंगल में एक ही टाइप का फॉरेस्ट होगा. It could be a mix of both. Getting my point? For example, in Jim Corbett National Park, if you look, you also have grasslands, savanna types in the lower parts. But it is mostly dominated by moist deciduous forest. In Gir Kirtihar landscape, dry deciduous forest is there, but also savanna grasslands are there, my dear friends. And hence, in the world, this is the only landscape where you find the lion, the tiger, leopard, and now cheetah as well. Only place in the world, this landscape. Fine. So you have to interlink things. Please understand. Without interlinking, क्वेश्चन नहीं होगा भाई. तो चीता के ऊपर आज एक बहुत अच्छा आर्टिकल आया हुआ है इंडियन एक्सप्रेस एक्सप्लेन्ड में. आज आया हुआ है, लिटरली आज सुबह ही देखा है मैंने. प्लीज पढ़ लो जाके. ठीक है, इंस्टाग्राम पे रील्स बाद में देख लेना. प्रोस्पेक्ट्स क्या हैं उसके, कॉन्स क्या हैं, प्रोस क्या हैं, क्या प्रॉब्लम्स रही हैं अभी तक, एवरीथिंग इज इन दैट आर्टिकल. फ्यूचर क्या हो सकता है उसका, एवरीथिंग इज देयर इन दी दैट आर्टिकल. सो गाइस बताओ, लायन कॉस्ट कौन से नेशनल पार्क में? टाइगर, रणथंबोर एंड सरिस्का. चीता, कूनो एंड अभी गांधी सागर होने वाला है. द नेक्स्ट बैच ऑफ चीता दैट इज कमिंग विल बी डायरेक्टली रिलोकेटेड इन गांधी सागर. एंड लेपर्ड एवरीवेयर. अच्छा, बाय द वे, इन 1950s when my grandparents used to live in Delhi, this area was very dangerous area. Because leopards used to roam in this area because there is a very huge forest, central ridge. So इधर कोई अकेला आता नहीं था. at that time. Now, अब मैं आपकी क्लासेस लेता हूं. Sometimes I go very late. So I have also seen nearby this place. क्या देखा है? चीता? नहीं. Fox. Jackals. I have seen. और अगर आप कभी पटेल नगर से निकल के साई मंदिर आते हैं, उधर जाएंगे उस एरिया में, रात को you can see. दिखता है यहाँ पे है उन जंगलों में. Even deers are there. Nilgai is there. So I used to live in South Delhi in my, adolescent time. उस टाइम पे रनिंग जॉगिंग के लिए मैं जाता था डियर पार्क में. So there huge deers are there, nilgais are there, everything is there. House near house cars. I used to live. So wildlife is there. ठीक. So guys, these things are very critical for your exam, and they are basically interlinkages that you need to create. Now, why we are reading all these Himalayas, ye wo falan dhimkana? Why? That's the reason. Because देखो, UPSC Prelims examination is a combined examination of Indian Civil Services and Indian Forest Services. So environment geography के question always, कभी environment नीचे हुआ तो geography के ज्यादा आएंगे, geography नीचे हुआ तो environment के ज्यादा आएंगे. Remember it. होता ही. This is a cycle. So very critical subjects both of them are. and आपको दोनों को interrelate करना है. ऐसी और कोई लैंडस्केप है इंडिया में? और भी है. वेस्टर्न घाट्स की लैंडस्केप है. लाइन से नेशनल पार्क्स आपको वहां पर दिखेंगे. ईस्टर्न घाट्स की लैंडस्केप है. नॉर्थ ईस्ट इंडिया के अंदर भी वी हैव सच काइंड ऑफ लैंडस्केप. गुरुमारा नेशनल पार्क जहां पे है, महानंदा है, एंड ऑल दोस थिंग्स. जब आपको जो भी पढ़ा है एनवायरमेंट, जस्ट आस्क टू टेल दीज थिंग्स टू यू. बता देना सर ये लैंडस्केप्स बताएं. अच्छा, now guys, let's talk about a pass. What is a mountain pass? Tell me. Now guys, mountain pass is that area of a lower elevation from which you can cross that mountain range. Fine. Now guys, I have created a video, animated video of all major passes of India. You can go and look at it. Internet पर आपको मिल जाएगी, वो देख लेना. But how you should learn it? Now, when you want to learn the pass, never learn by name. Always look at cities. So let me first take Srinagar as a city. सबको पता है श्रीनगर का है? So this is Srinagar, that is Kashmir. Now from Srinagar, if you want to go to Gilgit-Baltistan, which pass you should cross? अच्छा, एक मिनट रुकिए. सो मैं इसको थोड़ा गेमिफाई कर देता हूं सो दैट दिमाग में बैठे आपके. So this is Gilgit. You need to guess the pass. This is Kargil. This is Leh. This is Siachen. This is Keelong. And this is Manali Trans. Now, this is Jammu. ठीक है, समझ में आता है? So guys, in our brain we have an area known as hippocampus. So hippocampus enabled us to survive because it helps you to navigate. So अगर आप मैप्स को देखते हैं, रास्ते देखते हैं, so chances हैं that these things will stick better because it is a evolutionary process. So even if you are learning difficult things, try to map it, mind map बनाओ ब्रेन में. दिल्ली के आपको लोकेलिटीज पता है? हर लोकेलिटी पे एक चीज डाल दो. अच्छा, मैं यहाँ राजेंद्र नगर में रहता हूँ, आगे करोल बाग है, इधर पटेल नगर है, इधर जाना नहीं है मुझे, ठीक है? तो लाइक दैट यू पुट थिंग्स. दिस इज अ वेरी गुड टेक्निक. Now guys, if you want to go from Srinagar to Gilgit, which mountain pass you have to cross? It is the Burzel Pass. Now Gilgit से भी परे मुझे जाना है तुर्किस्तान चाइना में, तो क्या कौन सा पास है? The northernmost point of India, this is the Kilik Pass or La. In Tibetan, pass is known as La. Now, if I want to go from Srinagar to Kargil, I have to cross Zojila. Now, tell me, Burzel Pass and Zojila should be in which mountain range? They should be in Great Himalayas. कश्मीर के ऊपर Great Himalayas है, Zanskar नहीं है. Then, if you want to go from Kargil to Leh, then you have will cross Zanskar. Motula? Motula. Next. Okay, you want to go to China from Leh. लंका दहन करनी है ना? लनकला. Fine. You want to go from Leh to Siachen. Khardungla. Now guys, tell me, Lanakla and Khardungla should be in which range? Karakorams. Please understand. My mistake. Khardungla is in Leh, Ladakh range. My mistake. Lanakla is in Karakoram because they are like this. Okay? Acha. Kilikla again Karakorams. Please understand. Now Jammu to Srinagar. Great. Zojila Pass is very important, guys, this year. Z Mode Tunnel was in news. पहले ही बता रहा हूं, 6 months back. ठीक है? There is Z Mode Tunnel here that is being created with this Austrian technique of drilling. And आजकल वो ऑस्ट्रियन मशीन मंगवा रखी है गडकरी ने, वो घूमती रहती हैं, ड्रिल करती रहती हैं. पढ़ा उनके बारे में? कमाल करते हो यार. Now Keelong to Leh and Manali to Keelong. See, Manali to Keelong is रोहतांगला. येश खाए, वो सबने देखा गाना? नहीं पता? जनरेशन चेंज हो गई है. एक मूवी है जब वी मेट, तो उसमें एक गाना है. तो that song was shot at Rohtangla. Now nobody goes to Rohtangla now because 4 years back Atal Tunnel was opened. Now Keelong to Leh, Baralachala. 4 और passes हैं by the way, but not important. ठीक. So Baralachala is in Great Himalayas. जब Baralachala कौन सी स्टेट में है? Very good. It is in Himachal Pradesh. It is not in Ladakh. People think it is in Ladakh. ठीक है? तो इस तरह से you can try to memorize it. ये बेस्ट तरीका है मेरे हिसाब से. Because passes they connect cities, regions, है ना? So you can learn like this. Now guys, if you have Uttarakhand here, Himachal and Uttarakhand, and you want to go to China, what you should do? Himachal se if you want to cross into China, you have to use Shipkila. Shipkila is the pass from which Satluj river enters into India. River Satluj. Fine. Very important. So Himachal Pradesh में, which is the highest peak? Srinagar? हाँ? Rio, अरे यार, बीर बिलिंग पीक थोड़ी है. बीर is the hill station, तो बड़ा फेमस चल रहा है आजकल. सारे हिपस्टर यंगस्टर are going बीर बिलिंग. क्या मिलता है वहां ऐसा? हैं? नॉट पैराग्लाइडिंग. कुछ मिलता है वहां जहां लोग जाते हैं वहां? मेथी. समझ गए जिसको समझता था, सूखी वाली. सो आजकल आई हैव सीन अ ट्रेंड बीर बिलिंग के लिए हिमाचल में. सो आजकल ये हुआ है कि टूरिस्टी प्लेसेस लाइक शिमला, मसूरी, मनाली, पीपल आर नॉट गोइंग. दे वांट सेक्लूजन, है ना, आराम चाहिए, आराम से बैठ के जो किया जाता है. ठीक. सो रियो परगिल इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पीक. व्हाट? रियो परगिल. तो यार एक मूवी थी, एक आ रही है अभी, उसका नाम है रोंगटे. देयर इज अ मूवी दैट इज कमिंग, बॉलीवुड की मूवी, बड़ी अच्छी मूवी होगी, आई एम टेलिंग यू. कार्तिक आर्यन इज द हीरो. So the director consulted me about the geopolitics and all those things. So the movie starts from Rio Purgal. From there we started to beat China, go into China in that movie. So बहुत अच्छी movie है, you should also watch. अभी direction में. Now in Uttarakhand we have 3 important passes. Please name them one by one. At the tri point you have the Lipu Lake, from which you can enter into Tibet, Mansarovar. Then Niti Pass is here, and there is Mana Pass. The first village हो गया ना, बल्कि last village था. So 3 passes, only Lipu Lake is used mostly. Lipu Lake is used. Next, we have beautiful Sikkim, one of my favorite places. Now guys, Sikkim mein you have Nathula Pass and Jelipla Pass. Now there were 2 passes that were used to visit Lake Mansarovar. Nathula was one of the passes, but today it is closed. It is not used. Only Lipu Lake abhi chal raha hai. And this is Jelipla. Tick. Here is Bhutan. And then you have Arunachal Pradesh. Now guys, in Arunachal Pradesh, this region is ours. I will show in the map as well. आप देखेंगे भूटान में and तिब्बत में we have this region that extends. This is Tawang region. What? Now Tawang region is also very critical. Always in news, always in dispute with China. Yes or no? Now if you want to go to Tawang, first of all, you have to cross Sela Pass. Take. Then you have to cross Bumla. Bomdila idhar hi hai. It is a town basically. And at the tri-point of Myanmar, China and Nepal, China and India, we have Dhipu Pass. Dhipula. Fine. So it is quite important, quite critical, all these passes. Now, if you want to look at animations or, you know, this खिचड़ी, you can see it, but कोई फायदा है नहीं. ठीक है, आपको याद ऐसे होगा नहीं, कोई इसका मतलब है नहीं. तो as you can see guys, मैंने ये चीज जो आपको दिखाई थी उसको यहाँ पर थोड़ा सा फॉर्मलाइज कर दिया है. And I have overlain a map so that things becomes more clear to you. You can see the Kilik Pass beyond Gilgit, Karakoram Pass beyond Siachen, Gurzel Pass between Srinagar and Gilgit, Banihal, Zojila, Fotula, Thangla is there, Khardungla, Lanakla and Baralachala. Fine. And Rohtang is here, Shipkila is here, Mana Pass is here, Lipu Lake is here, बीच में नीति पास और डाल देना. ठीक है, तो you can also remember like this. I have made this animation for you. I will give this snapshot as well to you. ठीक, ठीक है, सही है, इससे तो याद हो जाएगा. माइंड मैप है. Now here you have Nathula, see the map, and you have the Jalipla. ठीक? You have Sela Pass and Bumla. Bomdila is a town here. It's not a pass basically. ठीक? And there you have the Dhipu Pass. Getting my point? ये देखिए ये पार्ट अंदर आ रहा है ना, इंग्रेस हो रहा है. This is Tawang. ठीक? Tawang is a beautiful place. बिल्कुल लगता है तिब्बत में आ गए हो. Now guys, let us talk about the glaciers. Again, I don't like it. Hence I made mine. अच्छा, कहाँ गया यार? गायब हो गया क्या? पता नहीं कहाँ चला गया. So I will give you that as well. Take no tension. So guys, these glaciers we are also going to discuss when we are going to discuss about rivers. Fine. So we will look at it. Please understand. Now passes are quite important nowadays. They are always in the news because BRO is doing this LAC project and we are today making huge amounts of infrastructure across Himalayas, railways as well as roadways. अंग्रेज railways कहां तक बना के गए थे? In the north. Which hill station you can go? You can go Shimla. 1947 we have railway till Shimla. कहां तक बना ली हमने 2014-15 तक? छोटा शिमला. 15 kilometers beyond Shimla there is Chota Shimla. उतना ही हुआ बस. If you look at the Chinese, what they did? Beijing to Lhasa and Lhasa to Kathmandu. See, this is known as progress. We have lagged behind a lot in infra specifically. So, in the past, India's strategy was not to awaken the dragon. So we avoided doing anything that can threaten China. Hence, one of our strategy is sleeping tiger strategy. What was this? India did not create any infra along LAC. Why? Because if Chinese invasion happens, they should not have the infra to come into the plains. That was our strategy till 2014. Fine. So that is a very pessimistic strategy. Cairo ki strategy. Now guys, new strategy is we should create infra, we should create outpost, and we should fight, and we should fight till death. है ना, ये देश है तो दुनिया है, नहीं तो कुछ नहीं है. उसके बाद तो you should know this thing. And hence these things are ongoing in the news. And all these tunnels are being created. Modi ji हर साल कुछ ना कुछ करते रहते हैं inaugurate. So all these passes are being bypassed now using tunnels. Because problem with passes is during the winter months they are blocked. So you don't have 12 months of access. Fine. So you require 12 months of access. कभी भी कुछ भी हो. कारगिल क्यों हुआ था? You know? What happened is the Kargil mountains were there. And to reach Kargil, you need to cross Zojila, Fotula and these passes. It was a common understanding between Pakistan and Indian troops that as the winter comes, all the troops will go down and rest. And the summer they will come up. 1999 की winter आई. Indian troops, they came down. But not the Pakistanis. ऊपर बैठे रहे. And then what happened, you know? They started to ingress. अंदर आना शुरू हो गए. And the Kargil happened. That was a learning curve. So इसलिए ये passes जो मैंने आपको बताए हैं, इनको अच्छे से करना. And any pass, if it is in news, उसको लिख लेना. Remember the range in which it is located. Remember the state in which it is located. And remember the route on which it is located. Highway as well. ठीक है, तो ये चीजें देख लेना. इट कुड बी आस्क्ड इन अ स्टेटमेंट बेस्ड क्वेश्चन. नहीं भी है So you can use it in the mains answer writing. Fine, got it? Okay. Now let's move on to the next physiographic feature. That, my dear friends, is North Indian plains. North Indian plains is the center of Indian culture. Vedic culture specifically, please understand. Now, if you look at the division, we have Great Himalayas, Lesser Himalayas, Shivaliks, like this. We have the first kya hai? Bhabhar plains. Then we have the Terais area. Then the rivers are flowing like this. Near the river, you have plains which contains new alluvial soil known as Khadar. Beyond the plains where there is old alluvial soil, they are known as Bangar. Fine. So if you divide from north to south these plains, guys, you have Bhabhar, Terai, Khadar, Bangar. Please understand. Also, you can divide them according to your NCERT into Punjab plains, but Punjab plains in your NCERTs are called as Yamuna Satluj plains. Why? Here, India mein, you know, only 3 rivers are Indian. Out of 6 Punjabi rivers, only 6 are Indians. 3 are Indian out of 6. Yes or no? So that is also ingrained in your brain. You have the Ganga plains, subdivided into Upper Ganga plains, Middle Ganga plains, and Lower Ganga plains. And then you have the plains of Brahmaputra. Very critical. Okay, so we need to talk about each one of them. Fine, अच्छा. तो आइए सबसे पहले बात करते हैं. Let's talk about the Bhabhar region. So guys, as I have already told you, Bhabhar region is the region of what? Region of deposition. Why? As river loses its kinetic energy, huge amount of unconsolidated material is deposited in this region. Hence, rendering Bhabhar as infertile. कंकड़ पत्थर पड़ा हुआ है, कहां खेती करोगे? Now, small rivers, they will vanish. Why? ये आपके एनसीईआरटी में लिखा हुआ है. Why, guys? Now, so huge chunks of rocks are there that the water of the river flows below those chunk of big, huge rocks. So only small river they can vanish. क्या गंगा vanish होगी? Of course not. It's huge. यमुना vanish होगी? Of course not. It's huge. Satluj vanish होगी? Of course not. It's very huge. Please understand this thing. So these are your Bhabhar plains, and as I have told you, Bhabhars, they are very wide in the west and narrow in the east. So that should be written. And the reason I have already told you, related to Himalayas. Hence today this region is used for recreational activity. River rafting कर लो, ठीक है? Camping कर लो. National parks are there, wildlife can be seen here. Fine, all these things are located in this area. So if you look at Haridwar, Haridwar is a perfect example of a Bhabar region. Any other city that you know about? Semi वो दून वैली में है. And any other यार उसके हरिद्वार 20 किलोमीटर का फर्क नहीं, वही अटके हुए. काठगोदाम. काठगोदाम is a place in Uttarakhand, हल्द्वानी के पास. That is Bhabar region. Kalka. Kalka is also Bhabar region. Please understand. Now guys, beyond Bhabar, you will find very fertile plains known as Terai. देखिए तेराई is what? हिंदी में भी say पानी पी के थरावट आ गई, कहते नहीं कहते? थरावट, moisture. It is a moist and wet zone, full of mosquitoes. मोटे मोटे मच्छर, इतने मोटे आपको उड़ा के ले जाए. So Terai region is a malarial zone. NCERT में लिखा हुआ है it is a malarial zone. Please understand. Fine. So in this Terai region, the river re-emerges. This is a water saturated zone. If it is a water saturated zone, which type of agriculture should be done here? Of course, those crops which are water intensive. आराम से, like fruits, sabzi, vegetables, rice, and most importantly, sugarcane. मुजफ्फरनगर का कौन है यहाँ? बिजनौर. सो बिजनौर, मुजफ्फरनगर, अंबाला, पंचकुला का जो लोअर पार्ट है, दोज रीजन आर इन तेराई. पीलीभीत, लखीमपुर खेड़ी, बरेली. फाइन. Agriculturally very important, specifically for sugarcane. And in the places where there is some Shivaliks and it is also heavily forested. So like parts of Jim Corbett and Rajaji National Parks are in Terai. Parts of it. Getting my point? So this is very critical for you to understand. Next. Guys, near the river, you have this zone where the river floods, and every year or every other year it refreshes, replenishes the soil, alluvial soil. So here you have new alluvial soil. And this region is known as what? Khadar. And in India, in specifically Delhi, West UP, Haryana, specifically this region where Khadi Boli is the main language. Many villages are there which have Khadar as a suffix. Like in Delhi, there is a region near कौन सरिता विहार के पास कौन रहता है? सरिता विहार, फतेहपुर खादर, ठीक है, करौल खादर. So many villages are there which have Khadar as a suffix. Fine. So again, guys, in this region there is no problem of fertility as well as no problem of water. So which kind of crops will be grown here? Again, water intensive crops like sugarcane and rice, and also sabziyan, vegetables. So along the Yamuna river, many vegetables are grown. dumped into Delhi, have high content of heavy metals in them. Yes or no? Now beyond this region you have area of old alluvial. Now this old alluvial soil, please guys, is not replenished every year. It is old and hence it require huge amount of fertilization so that you can do intensive agriculture here. Hence wheat, coarse grains, they are mostly preferred in this region. Now this region is known as Bangar. Please understand this thing. Now also in the old alluvial soil you have some calcareous deposits. Now these calcareous deposits are known as kankad. They are nothing but mounds of calcium carbonate. CaCO3, yeah. Fine. So these are Bhabar Terai areas. If you want to see, I will show them to you. Now, how these plains were formed, now let's talk about it. Now guys, as you know, Himalayas were formed because the Indian plate subducting beneath the Eurasian plate. Now there will be a subduction zone here. See, subduction zone के बारे में बताया हुआ ना मैम ने आपको. Now these subduction zone act as trenches, part of trenches. But here, as the Himalayas and the peninsular plateau, or on the both of the sides of subduction zone, what will happen? Rivers from Himalayas and peninsular plateau will flow into this depression. So there was this central depression in the subduction zone, my dear friends, and from Himalayas and from the peninsular plateau, rivers flown into this depression. Now tell me, today any river, does it flow towards the North Indian plain from peninsular plateau? आज कौन सी नदी ऐसी? बहुत सारी है. बनास, चंबल, बेतवा, कैन, सोन, दामोदर. Yes or no? So what will happen guys in depression if rivers are flowing? What will be created? You are filling up a bucket. A huge, humongous lake will be created. Are lakes permanent? Lakes are never permanent because these rivers will also bring huge quantities of sediments with them. And with time, these sediments will start to build up slowly, filling up this subduction zone, creating the North Indian plains. So this is how the North Indian plains were created. Now the rivers, they flow over the alluvial soil which they have deposited. उसी के ऊपर तो flow कर रही है अपनी soil के ऊपर. So this is quite critical for you to understand how these were formed. Fine, very important, and hence अगर आप रेत को हाथ में लेके हिलाओगे तो क्या होगा? डिस्टेबिलिटी होगी. एंड अगर नॉर्थ इंडिया के नीचे सबडक्शन जोन में भूकंप आया तो क्या होगा? So guys, this is a region that in the past has faced huge earthquakes, mega earthquakes. In the future will also face mega earthquakes. That is a reality. Fine. So this is how the plains are created. यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हैं Great Himalaya, Lesser Himalaya, Shivalik, Bhabar, Terai, and Bangar and Khadar. Getting a point? So as you can see, these are your कौन सा जोन है ये? Wider in the west, narrower in the east. narrower in the west, wider in the east. क्यों है? That I have already told you. Please understand. This is Khadar zone. This is Bhangar zone. Now let's look at the division now from west to east. So this is Yamuna Satluj plains. Now guys, in Persian, Farsi, land between two rivers is known as doab. पंजाब से कौन है यहां? बस एक, कौन से दोआब से हो? मालवा. मालवा कौन सा दोआब है? वो तो रीजन है. इट इज अ लिंग्विस्टिक रीजन. भटिंडा के आसपास, दैट इज अ लिंग्विस्टिक रीजन. दैट इज नॉट दोआब. So between two rivers you have a doab. So in Punjab there is basically not one but 6 rivers. First river, my dear friends, is of course Indus. You have Jhelum, you have Chenab, then you have Ravi, then you have Byas and Satluj going in and meeting. So I will write the names: I, J, C, R, B, S. Getting my point? Now guys, this doab between Jhelum and Indus is known as Sindh Sagar doab. ठीक. Now between Jhelum and Chenab it is known as Jech doab. J Jhelum, C Chenab. J Jhelum, C Chenab. Between Chenab and Ravi you have Rachna doab. Between Byas and Ravi you have the Badi doab. And between Satluj and Byas you have the Bist doab. Which of these doabs are completely in India? Only Bist. कितनों से ना? इसके भी नीचे से कोई दोआब नहीं उधर. फाइन. अच्छा, जम्मू कौन से दोआब में? सोचो. अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा, जम्मू के ऊपर क्या है? कौन सी रिवर है? चेनाब. नीचे क्या है? पठानकोट, जहां से निकलती है रावी. सोचो. अब तो बता दिया यार. यस. वो लगदी लाहौर दिया. लाहौर कहां है? पाकिस्तान नहीं, अफगानिस्तान में भाई. कौन से दोआब में है? Lahore is a city that is located on which river? कमाल करते हो यार. कल तुम्हें वहां जाके रहना है, वहां जाना है, ठीक है, और तुम्हें पता नहीं है. तुम्हें इंडिया से ज्यादा पाकिस्तान के बारे में पता होना चाहिए. इंडस में कमाल करते हो भाई. इट इज ऑन रिवर राबी. कौन से मुगल एम्परर का मकबरा है? अबे अकबर. फतेहपुर सीकरी में क्या है फिर? हैं? अब चेक करके आना. So guys, please understand this thing. Half of Lahore is in Rachna doab and half is in Badi doab, क्योंकि बीच से निकलती है जो रिवर रावी है. Then अमृतसर कहां हुआ? Yes, you are right. Congratulations. Fine. So look at the cities of Punjab. It's your homework. Which city is in which doab? Jalandhar, इफ यू गो फ्रॉम जलंधर टू अमृतसर, कौन सी नदी क्रॉस करता है भाई? अबे ब्रह्मपुत्र नहीं करता क्या? व्यास. So you are in the best Doab in Jalandhar. Getting my point? So prominent city Jalandhar is of Punjab. अभी कहां जा रहे हो? रुको. So this is Punjab. So how many Doab are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. पंज दोआब, पंज दोआब, पंज दोआब, पंज दोआब, पंजाब. आई बात समझ? कहां से आया नाम? Next, let's talk about the upper Ganga plains. हाँ भाई, please understand one more important thing. Now दोआबों का दोआब क्या है? Now guys, Britisher considered the most fertile land in the world as what? The doab. दोआबों का दोआब. The doab. So Britishers, they used to consider this area as the most fertile area of the world, and during Delhi Sultanate, during Mughal period, and even during British period, highest tax were paid by these people who were living between Ganga and Yamuna rivers. Both are huge rivers, very fertile region. Today also, क्या है यहाँ पे? कौन सी cities? Half of Delhi is in this part, East Delhi. Yes, Muzaffar, start from above, Rudki, Muzaffarnagar, Meerut, Hapur, Bulandshahr, those areas are in this. Yes, Aligarh is here, you are right. Now guys, this Doab, the Doab, it extends from here till Allahabad, and it is very fertile, extremely fertile region of the world, one of the extremely fertile region of the world. ये आप देख सकते हैं. And Delhi is located, half of it in this the Doab. Please understand this thing. Critical, quite important. Fine. So Yamuna Satluj plains. This is the Upper Ganga plains. Upper Ganga plains extends in Haryana, UP, Uttarakhand, Rajasthan, and parts of Madhya Pradesh. Because इसमें Chambal River भी आएगी, Banas भी आएगी. Yes or no? That are tributaries. Then you have the Middle Ganga plains. So Middle Ganga plains basically start from Bareilly onwards, Bareilly and down, Agra and down. Fine. Middle Ganga plains extend till West Bengal, North Bengal, and then starts Lower Ganga plain. That is Kolkata, Howrah. All these regions are in the Lower Ganga plains. Now Middle Ganga plains also contains parts of Madhya Pradesh. Please understand, and also contains Bihar, UP to hai, parts of Nepal. Jharkhand is also there a little bit. Lower Ganga plains, of course, parts of Jharkhand and Bengal. This is the Brahmaputra plains for you, my dear friends. That is there. कहाँ पे? अरुणाचल में है. Which city of Arunachal is in Brahmaputra plains? Please tell me. ओ भैया, आसाम कब से सिटी हो गई? सुनते कुछ और हो गया यार. Tell me guys. It is Pasi Ghat. Please understand, very critical. वो बड़ा ही लॉजिस्टिकल प्लेस है. From there, army logistics, very very important for army logistics. That place. Tick. So Brahmaputra plains, parts of Meghalaya, Assam, parts of Bhutan, not Sikkim. Sikkim में कोई प्लेन नहीं है. Sikkim is the true Himalayan state without any plains. क्वेश्चन आया हुआ यूपीएससी में, प्रीलिम्स में. So these are your Brahmaputra plains. So narrowest is Brahmaputra plains, please understand. Fine. So we have covered Himalayas, north and northeast mountains, done and dusted today, and the North Indian plain, done and dusted today. कितना टाइम हो गया? नहीं तो मैं डेजर्ट्स में निपटवा देता हूं. इतनी जल्दी हो गया आज?
StudyIQ IAS अब तैयारी हुई अफोर्डेबल.